Now, all you really need is 2 weeks in order to get decent or at least above average in sort of every single topic that exists in the world, right? I'm sharing this observation today from a slightly different scenery just because I'm out here in a different city visiting my friend. I'm actually preparing my sort of breakfast or proper meal of today. What do I have? I got the icy skyr, which has a skyr 17G of protein, and I'm actually eating 3 of them, which gets my protein intake to about 51G alone with this and a banana, as well as a little bowl of tonno and onion. That's what we're working with. That's about another 40 grams of protein. And we'll just a couple of slices of toast in the back. That's a very, very nutritious meal. Obviously, we also have an apple to make sure we get the nutrients in. But yeah, that's just something that might be beneficial to a couple of you guys as well. Now back to my take. My observation or my statement is basically based on an insight that I am kind of growing with every single day. Now, I turned 27 this year, and I can literally feel how time is speeding up. That does have to do with the fact that, obviously, my understanding and perception of time is changing with my age. So 1 year from 27 to 28 now is only a small bit of my overall lifetime. Whereas if you're 10 years old and you turn 11, that's literally about a tenth of the whole life experience. And let's say you got aware at 7 or 8, some of them, or some of you probably even a little bit later, that makes it up for like a third of your life. That's why obviously I feel the sensation that time is speeding up. And what follows with that is the fact that I feel like a lot of people, they just get stuck at one point in time. Let's say when they turn 20 or 21 and life hit them with their obligations, life hit them with responsibilities, with bills to pay, everything around that makes them kind of not to be in a position where they can really strive for a specific development in whatever topic in life. So the biggest privilege that you can have is basically to own your time. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be an entrepreneur. You can as well be just someone who is working, a regular job and uses, let's say, 3 or 4 hours of their day properly. Because 3 or 4 hours is everything you need. Arguably, it already starts with like 1 hour a day. If you have 1 hour a day and you dedicate 1 hour a day for the next 2 weeks onto something very specific, may it be becoming better at your communication, may it be, I don't know, talking to strangers, whatever it might be, or having a proper understanding of marketing or copywriting or sales, it doesn't really matter. 1 hour a day for about 14 days is what truly separates you from about 95% of the people out there in that specific skill set. So if you just think about that fact that you have a privilege that you could take an hour or 2 hours of dedicated time every single day and become pretty good at something new, at something valuable, at something that actually makes you different and unique in the market, in reality, in value, in terms of for your environment, for your friends and family, that's actually something that most people are just sleeping on. And why do they do just sleep on that? Because they're stuck in their routines. We're very habitual creatures. And most people, after they turn 20 and they're faced with a lot of responsibilities, they just end up being stuck in a loop where they don't really change. And change obviously isn't the holy grail. At the end of the day, if you're a good person, and you're happy with your life, there's no need for you to aspire to change drastically. However, everyone changes. It's a dynamic process. You can't really flee it, right? Either you change into the positive or the negative. Either you become better at the thing or worse. Either you become just someone who is aware of his process, or you just end up becoming a result of your environment and your processes. So if you use a dedicated amount of time for a certain specific number of weeks or days, you can really change something. And that's a lesson that I think everyone should be more aware of, and a gift that everyone should take into their own hands and really do something about that. Because the only thing that really changed in a lot of people that I know that have been working and kind of been stuck in that loop since they're 20 is that they may have a little bit more of financial resources or some additional stress here and there, but they rarely really change in terms of what skills or qualities that they develop, because they don't do it consciously. And obviously on the job, you also learn certain qualities, you also learn certain skills, you become useful in some sort of ways, but it's pretty limiting for most people. Now, you can take that to your benefit, or you can just become a person who complains about that fact. But at the end of the day, the competition isn't really strong, right? You, if you're really trying to become good at something, can do quite a lot and can become quite good in a very short amount of time. And you should use that to your own favor. I mean, no one really would complain if a competition is weak and you're trying to become good at something that it goes faster. So use it to your advantage, and don't let your mind kind of get stuck in a very similar loop. Build your dream life. Build the characteristics that you want to portray. Build the skills that you want to kind of own, and become the person you're trying to be. Because if you don't approach it that way, no one will do it for you. And you're just going to end up becoming a result of your environment and kind of what's going on around you. So break that loop today and change.